Started, will please stand for join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Joanne, can you do roll call, please?
Dr. Bloom?
Here.
Jennifer Coleman?
Here.
Greg Bernard?
Here.
Erin Chapia?
Here.
Welcome back. Jay Erickson?
Thank you.
Here.
Mark Friedman?
Here.
And Stephen Job.
Here.
Okay, very light agenda tonight, so we'll move through it pretty quickly. Art East, new application, temporary signage. Is everybody on the board familiar with Art East in the program? They've been doing it for many years. The local artists. They put out temporary signs.
The Open Studios.
Open
Yeah.
studios, local artists
Yeah, great.
display their work.
Yeah.
That's all great.
I've seen it before, but maybe just explain where it is and.
Well,
how-
from my knowledge, is there anybody there's no one in the audience from Art East representing them?
But here we have the
There's a brochure.
Okay,
And there's numerous amounts of studios in the town of Pawling.
got it.
Yeah,
So
so
it's
you-
not one studio, it's multiple.
Like residents, people would open up their garage and display
They can open
artwork
it
and
up.
stuff like
There's
that.
Got it,
page of
okay.
They've been doing it for many years now.
Right, I've seen the
There's-
signs before.
Yeah, and to my knowledge, I don't think we ever got any complaints about their signage.
No.
And so they're just looking for permission to put up the signs, and they're going to take them down like 3 days after the event. Any comments, questions?
Where and how many signs, do we know?
I don't know. No, it's
Open the
usually,
brochure, you'll see how many studios in Pawling.
So they have a sign for each studio? And,
On multiple streets.
got it.
And sometimes if it's more than one way to come into a street, they might have two arrows pointing
Yeah,
from
they-
different directions.
it's like people would follow the arrows. They would
Yeah.
follow.
And it looks like it's 2 consecutive weekends, so the signs stay up for 10 days.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Concerns? Anybody? Anybody want to make that motion?
Motion. Motion to grant temporary signage to Art East Studios. The removal of signage within 3 days of close of the event.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mark. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Nope, motion carries. All right, number 2 on the agenda, ASPCA. As you can all see, the building is coming along, the property is coming along. They did send a letter for a reduction in bond. The original bond was $500,000, if I remember correctly. They wanted it reduced, they asked for it to be reduced 40 to 50%. Our engineer, Greg, went out. Come on up, Greg. He inspected the property, and
Oh, it's on.
you can-
I expected a light, sorry.
it works, right?
Yes, it works.
And tell us what you saw.
Okay, Greg Bowler with CPL. I didn't personally go out there, but Bobby from our office, who is a stormwater inspector, went out and inspected the site. He took photos, shared them with me. Based on those photos and based on the progress that they've made to date, kind of repeating exactly what you said, the original bond was for $544,000. The first 3 items on that bond, stepping back for anybody who wasn't on the board at that time, the primary purpose of the bond is that they wanted to cut down the trees to avoid the bat season. So the board was concerned, wanted to have a bond in place so that if the trees were cut down and they didn't finish up the work, that they had money to restore the site and bring it back to a condition that was acceptable. So since that time, they did fell the trees or cut all the trees down, and then they produced the SWIP. They went in and they cleared the site and set up all the sediment and erosion control, and then cleared and stumped the entire site. And so at this time, they basically got the parking lot set. They've got the buildings partially built. The berm, the sound barrier berm that is to the south of the buildings has not been put in place. They still do have site work. They do have a remaining portion of the bond, which is actually, my number here, $284,000. That would cover if there were any planting of trees, and inspections if, for instance, they were to walk away at this time, which is highly unlikely, but they have not done any of the landscaping, which I would not anticipate that they're going to do that until one of the last items. But the remaining portion of the bond has money in there for planting of trees and then town inspections during that work.
Here's a question. What's the difference in a $500,000 bond to a $250,000 bond, as far as the cost factor to the company? I mean, it can't be much.
It's not much. It's about
What's the difference? I mean, we'll probably grant the reduction, but I don't understand why they're asking for a reduction. They can't be, it can't be that petty.
What I don't recall, Joanne, if you recall, was this a bond or was this actually cash?
I think we said it was a bond. It was a bond.
I think it was a
wasn't
Yeah, I
bond.
think
What's-
it's a restoration.
Okay, it is a bond, okay. So a bond does have a cost associated with it, and then I don't know if it has any liabilities associated with it in the sense of credit rating, but I don't know what that would do. Sometimes the bonds are cash, so obviously cash is cash, but,
Well, if you remember, we set it really high.
yes.
Because there was,
Set it high
we said it because of all the environmental
$1 million
concerns.
project.
Yeah. Well,
So, I mean, what's a $500,000 bond on a $20 million project?
that's not a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah, I
So
agree. but-
I don't think it's in order to ask for reduction, but that's my opinion. But whatever the board decides.
Well, if certain elements of the project are completed, that money would cover if it wasn't done, then why
Are
would...
you sure of
why-
that?
Common
We're not
practice
sure of
to
that.
reduce
Well,
it.
he just,
Your
they
engineer is
just,
telling you that it is.
there in the,
Yeah, but the landscape hasn't been done.
Yeah.
No,
that's
and
fine.
that, the
So you
bond
get-
is remaining for that.
Yeah.
For the landscaping, the
Not for the full amount.
$289,000
I mean,
remains.
upon your recommendation, you're
Yeah.
saying we should reduce it, but who am I to say you
Our code
shouldn't?
allows it to be reduced.
Right.
yeah.
Sorry,
I think
just for the,
the original bond was at 250,000, and then we raised it to 500, if my memory is correct.
so it was 500 originally, and how much has it been reduced, or how much is being proposed to reduce?
So the original bond was $544,000. It's being proposed to be reduced or requested to be reduced by $259,000, which leaves a remaining balance of $284,000. Those aren't the exact number, 284,900,
You
but
get order of magnitude.
yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, I think logically, we increased it because we were worried they would cut all the trees down and then
Just
we'd
leave
be
it.
just leave it, right? So by that logic, we're still at 284, higher than the 250 that we started at before we added the additional.
Right.
Yeah, we're still in good shape.
Yeah.
So. Any other questions, comments? Jen?
No.
No? Jay?
No.
No? All right, so now we just have to make a motion to recommend the bond reduction to the town board, right? Is that what-
No, we need a resolution.
Oh, we got to do the resolution on
We
the
have to do
21st,
the
right? Okay.
resolution, and in that resolution, then we make the recommendation to the town board to be put on the first meeting in November.
All right, so you're going to write up that resolution. We'll have
Yes,
it
sir.
for the 21st.
Yes.
That's right, I forgot, okay. All right, so we'll take care of that on the 21st at our next meeting.
Okay.
We'll have a resolution.
Any other questions that you'd like for me to look into between now and then? I mean, I think
I mean, you know,
reasonably it's,
it's looking nice from the vantage points. From
Yes.
When is the estimated completion of them?
I will check that. I don't know when the estimated completion is.
All right.
Yeah, I would say the only thing that relates to this topic that is, I think, important to think about is they're responsible for putting up a big screen, and we should make sure that that gets done.
Yes.
Because 22's visual corridor is greatly impacted by this, so,
Right.
we made a lot of, we had a lot of time spent on that.
Yeah. All right, great. And you're just gonna, you're not coming next meeting, right?
It's up to the board. If you feel that I need to be here or someone needs to be
I
here.
think you just send the resolution, and we can just do the resolution.
Okay,
All right,
that's fine.
sounds good. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In front of you, Callum Jones, 71 Duchess Drive, environmental permit. You have Walter, in front of you have Walter Artis's
Memorandum.
memo. Did everybody get a chance to read it?
Bless you.
Any comments, concerns? It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Good? Everybody good? We just need someone to read that motion. Right at the bottom of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to waive, in the matter of Callum Jones, 71 Duchess Drive, waive Chapter 111, Freshwater Wetlands and Watercourse Protection, sections as per 111-6E for C2, 111-61, 111-6A, and 111-6C, public hearings, referrals to outside agencies, and performance bond as recommended by Mr. Walter Artis, and refer this permit to the Storm Manager Office for issuance of the environmental permit.
I'll second.
Greg? Any discussion? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. Motion carries. All right, another environmental permit. Michelle Hopkins, 111-16 Route 292, Holmes. Same thing, you got another memo from Walter. Everybody get a chance to read that one? Another straightforward, just dotting the i's and crossing the t's.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, everybody good? Everybody get a chance to read it? Okay, go ahead.
All right, I'll make a motion that the board waives Chapter 111 Freshwater Wetlands and Watercourse Protection, sections as per 111-6E for C2, -111-6.1, 111-6.A, and 111-6.C, public hearings. Referrals to the outside agencies and performance bond as recommended by Mr. Artis. The board refers this permit to the Storm Manager Office for issuance of the environmental permit.
Okay, just need a second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Doc. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. Motion carries. And number 5, approval of minutes. Anybody read the minutes as emailed?
Yes.
You want to make that motion then?
Oh, yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 3rd, 2024.
Okay, just need a second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carries. All right. New business. The only thing I have is the training classes are coming up. It seems the Association of Towns is open up.
Yeah.
I think everybody, has anybody completed their 4 hours yet this year?
I did, but I mean, I signed up for one of them.
You did sign, okay, good. You signed up for extra, yeah. Because they carry over.
I think I have. I took 2 classes, but I can check and see.
Yeah, you can always do more and they carry over, they carry over for the next
I'm gonna
year.
sign up for more.
Okay.
So the Association of Boards is open, and there's 2 webinars, and the one up in Millbrook.
Yep.
What is the one up in Millbrook for? Is that for building? I forget what it is.
I forget, or clean energy.
Oh, the battery storage, is that what it was?
Might be,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's the news about that. So it's getting close to the end of the year, so we're gonna try to get your 4 hours in. All right. Anybody else have new business?
I had a quick one. I don't know if anybody's driven by the Kentucky Fried Chicken lately.
I did yesterday. It looks like he changed the shingles a little bit.
Got his new sign up.
Yeah, well, my question was, we paid a lot of attention to the signage, but I don't recall that we were gonna paint the whole front of the building red like that, or the majority of the building red like that, so.
It was in the elevation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my point. I don't recall that being as,
Yeah, we were focused on the signage, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was part of it.
yeah. No, I get it now
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it was, but I don't know that we actually looked, we were more concentrated, I think, on the signage than on what the facade of the building was
Right.
gonna look like. And to me, it's a little over the top, but it is what it is.
But you know, they drive around, they're all the same color. I looked at all the other KFCs and other places, and
Yeah.
there's it's a different red. Yeah.
But did he redo the shingles? I didn't notice.
Yeah,
that
they
part.
did.
Shingles are different, but they're
Yeah, they
On the sign
yeah.
Yeah.
specifically?
Supposed to repair the sign in addition to putting the sign in. I noticed the sign, but I didn't
You didn't
slow
get
down
close
enough to notice the shingles.
Yeah, I purposely slowed down and see the shingles. The shingles look better.
Yeah, they look better.
But
Did they, just a quick question, as a matter of process for Greg's point, did they actually have any other permit application before us, or was it only for the sign?
It was a sign.
it was the sign and painting.
The painting was
Because
also
they changed this color scheme.
so that was part of their application?
Yeah, that was part of it. So we got to read the material when it comes in.
I hadn't realized
Yeah.
that the paint was part of.
The signage, the
yeah.
application.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah, we
realize-
spent more time on the sign
Yeah.
Yeah.
when he was here, but,
Okay, that was it.
all right. Well, that was fast and furious.
Mm.
A motion to,
Well, I just wanted, in terms of Starkdale,
mhm.
we've received this application. There's obviously like a lot to go through and talk about. It's officially on our docket now, right? Have they paid the application fees?
Not yet.
No. Okay, so we're kind of waiting.
Well, we have to have a meeting with the attorney first because they want to only pay the petition fees and possibly the site plan fees because they want to go through the process of seeing what type of zoning they could get changed first before they pay all the fees as to what was presented.
So we're gonna have,
So
we're gonna have a meeting, we're gonna have a Zoom meeting before we,
Mhm.
with the attorney and Ron, and figure out the structure of the application fee.
Yeah.
So they should, hopefully they should be on the first meeting in November, I think, right?
We can, whenever you guys say.
Yeah.
If you want to send me your link to your meetings, Jay, I'll.
Oh, yeah, we
shoot
can
our-
we can include
talk to
you.
Mike about setting up a meeting.
We're gonna do
tomorrow.
that this week. So if you want in on that.
Yeah, yeah, if I can make it, I'd love to make that. I just,
Did
Is
you
it-
email him the application fees that we,
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I did. I'll make sure I made the email.
sort out the mechanics around the fees and everything, but regardless of, and you know, whether the fees and the agenda, there's this petition for a PDD. And I guess, we'll talk to Mike, but how much of that we process versus the town, ultimately, the town board has to make a resolution. We can't make that resolution.
Right.
But, do we have a sense of how are we gonna take lead on that, or just create some committee with the town board to just think about and process this petition? Because this is that's like kind of the meat of what's in front of us, or we'll talk about that.
we'll talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, we have to read code section 215-53 where it says, comes to the planning board, and then we refer it, this petition to the zone, back to the town.
Well, don't we have to
And then
declare
they'll
us,
refer it back to us.
don't we
Because they
have to
have to
declare
decide.
ourselves lead agency first?
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with it. This is
I
talking, this is
don't
like,
think secret kicks off in this
No.
for a rezone. Maybe it does. That's
No.
a
You
my
have to do
question.
rezone as part of,
it will,
eventually you'll have to do seeker as part of the rezone.
As part of the rezone.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there's four different entities that are gonna be involved for lead agency on this, and it's, so, well, there's two town boards and two
Yeah,
planning
but
boards.
a rezone, a zoning change
Right.
would
There's-
only, that seeker process would
Would
only
only
be
be us.
Pawling, right, not
Right.
Dover.
Yeah, that'll be only us. And the town board has to say they
Well, no,
they want
they
the
have a
PDD.
petition
They have a
in,
petition
in-
for a
for a
zoning
rezone in
amendment.
Dover too. But it's totally separate process, I think.
Zoning amendment, that's
yes.
for Dover.
Part of the Dover zoning.
They declare themselves the lead agency.
I'm still very confused how you have a PDD with only, in Pawling, with only residential housing in it. That makes no sense.
That's something we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
It's something we have to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how they're applying for a PDD in one town with one use, when PDDs are the whole
No,
entire
the
point of them
petition has commercial in it. They want commercial, they want all.
in
of
the town of Pawling.
Yes, yeah.
That's not what the plan looks like. From
Yeah.
what I'm-
No, it's not that, so there's four separate big processes. There's a rezone and a site plan application in two towns, right? So that's four big blocks that need to move, and like, they've divorced, it seems to me they've divorced the zoning petition from the plan. To your point, the plan only shows residential's, but the PDD is a little bit of, it reads to me like a cut and paste from, or a recapitulation of what was done on, with the Castagno property, with some changes, but has that kind of approach of a lot of commercial and mixed use and FAR ratios and all that stuff.
But they're using the whole site to come up with that.
It's unclear.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is unclear, but you have to present a plan that shows commercial in Pawling if you want us to consider it.
Well, it's
that
also
would
got to go to
be-
the town board has to say that they want it first.
No, I'm talking about us
You
as
know.
the royal we, not the planning board.
That makes sense, but then the other piece is like, do we do these zoning processes separately between Dover and Pawling? And yes, we can, and yes, we can do site plans separately, and legally they are separate actions, all four of them. But I think it makes sense to coordinate, to have this conversation, like, where is this commercial park gonna go? Like, why do you need to rezone us if you're gonna rezone them? Like, have a
Right.
coordinated conversation, I think, but that's my opinion.
Well, we'll find out when we
Yeah,
talk to the
They talked about
lawyer.
using portions of the property for farming, so would that be part of commercial?
Not the way it's
No,
written in
not
the, yeah, it's ag.
It's
Yeah,
agricultural
I
already.
think farming would be as ag.
Yeah.
Which is already permitted in a residential.
It's a big project. It's a long way off. There's a lot to talk about. So, I mean, it's going to be changing as we go. And we'll see.
But we need to get ahead of it and like.
Yeah, well,
think
this,
about
you know,
getting
this,
the planner on board
yeah, we're going to
sooner
hire a
rather
planner.
than later.
And do we have any meeting cadence set up with Dover on this, or?
No,
That's something
we
we can
can
talk
reach
about.
out if we'd like to.
There was a site visit that we were invited to, and I guess our board didn't show up.
No, I ran it by Jay and Aaron. It wasn't that we didn't show up.
Yeah, it's just a little premature for that anyway.
Yeah, no, our position, we didn't know what the plan was, we didn't know what
Yeah.
the zoning was, until we start to see the details, it's hard to, didn't seem worth it, or had an application, or had application fees, so it was kind of, seemed premature.
Premature.
But the idea of having a standing meeting of a working committee for us to meet with the Dover people, just to be in communication at least, to open that line of communication might be worth it.
Well, I think we're going to have a big week. We'll see what happens with this application fee,
Yeah.
and because if they want to change what we decided on, or what Ron and Mike came up with for the application fees, if they're not willing to pay the subdivision fees, they're going to have to go in front of the town board to request a reduction in that. So, I mean, that's going to take another process. That's a whole nother thing another hurdle that they're going to have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll find out more as we go. And right now, we have no what do we have, $2,000 in escrow from them left? So it's like,
I make a motion to adjourn.
all right.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Papa's.
Yes, I'm here.